What's going on, guys? It's time for workout 10. The strength portion is going to be focusing on your back. The circuit is going to be cardio with a bunch of burpees and sit-ups. So for the strength portion, it's another superset. You might remember from the last workout, a superset is going from one sequence directly into the other movement. So you're going to see it's a 3x10 for two different movements. Rows, dumbbell rows or barbell rows if you have it, and flies out for your back. So if you're doing beginner, it's going to be 3 supersets of 5 reps on the rows and the flies. If you're doing experienced, it's going to be 3 supersets of 10 reps for each movement. The dumbbell row, you're going to put a little bit of a bend in your knees. You're going to have the arch in your back so that you're making sure you're hinging at your hip. You're not falling forward like this. Hinge at your hip, come forward. Just to about 90, you'll come a little bit above that. Then you're going to take your dumbbells or your weights and you're going to pull it in and really try to squeeze at the top. You don't want to have your elbows bow out too far. You want to really kind of target those muscles in your back. Come up to the top, squeeze for a second, and come right back down. Now for the superset, as soon as you've got done with your set of rows, you go right into the flies. So the exact same position, knees bent, hinged at the hips. You get done with your rows, you go into the flies, and you're gonna bring them out. So you're gonna see my hands are not flat this way, they shift. This allows you to bring up and out using your back, but you wanna keep a little bit of a bend in your elbow. Hold it right about here. If you lock it out too much, it's gonna really burn on your deltoids, but what you're targeting is your back. Pull it up and down. You will probably notice the flies are a little more difficult than the bent over rows, so be ready to switch out the weights. You might find that you use a heavier weight for your row. That's okay. If you want to scale this and not use any weight, you could lean forward, take your hands, bring them up, do a couple second hold and come right back down. And you're still gonna engage those muscles. Just really try to hold that position because that time under tension is also gonna put a little bit of pressure on your back, and that's part of the workout. Superset, so try to keep it moving. After you've completed that superset, you're gonna go into deadlifts. You can use a bar if you have it, a singular object if you have it, or dumbbells, whatever you have around. Because a deadlift targets your glutes, hamstrings, and lower back, and a little bit of your quads, it's really an all-over movement. But because some of those areas, hamstrings and back, are prone to injury, I always say don't be a hero, don't try to go too heavy. Make sure you're just picking a weight and keeping good form so that it's a workout, it's not pulling a muscle. So for dumbbells, what it'll look like, if you have your weight on the ground, you're gonna engage your legs a little bit. Again, you're gonna have a little bit of a bend at the knee. You do not wanna lock your knees out or you're gonna pull something. Put a little bit of a bend in your knee. Similar with the other movement, you're gonna have a hinge in the hip. As you come down, your feet are actually gonna be a little bit closer than you would for a body squat. Body squats are usually about shoulder width. You're gonna come in just a hair closer than that so that you really are targeting the glutes and hamstrings there. With that, you're gonna lean forward, you're gonna grab your weight, and you're gonna pull it up and bring your hip forward. So I'm gonna do the same movement over here. Once you have your feet planted, bend your knees a little bit, hinge at the hips, come down, grab the weight, look forward, pull it up, bring your hip forward. Then come right back down and set it on the ground and pull right back up. You want to touch the ground to get that full range of motion. Now, the more flexible you are, you may not need to bend at your knee as much, or you might find that you need to bend even more. That's okay. What you don't want to do is lock your knees out and arch your back, and you don't want to be slumming like that. You're going to feel a lot of strain coming through here and a lot of pull here where you don't want it. So that's the deadlift. Beginners, 3 sets of 10. For experience is 3 sets of 15. Then the Freak Beast upgrades for these are simply adding more weight. Again, don't do that unless you have experience or you know roughly what your capacity is for weight. You don't want to hurt yourself. Okay, then going into the circuit is called blackjack because every sequence equals 21 reps. That's why. Very simple movements. It's just a repeat between burpees and sit-ups. It starts with 20 burpees and 1 sit-up, then 19 burpees, 2 sit-ups, and it'll continue that sequence all the way till it's 1 burpee and 20 sit-ups. So a quick reminder on your burpees, you want to make sure as you come down, touch your chest to the ground, bring your feet underneath, get a full extension and hop above. Come down, chest down, and hop. If you need to scale it, you can kick, take a step back, come down. You can roll, foot, and stand up. That's acceptable as well. Then for your sit-ups, just make sure your back is touching the ground and you're sitting all the way up. If you need to scale it, you can do crunches, which will just be the half movement here, or you can bring up your knees and do crunches this way. The key to this workout is to just keep moving. You want to do it for time. There's no time cap. You just want to complete all the reps, but try to move quick and keep your heart rate up. So as always, if you have questions, please ask them and good luck.